Not only do you need to secure certain data on your network, but you also need to make sure that you design a recovery process. And that obviously would help you in the event that your security plans failed. We try to secure our data, but even the best laid security plans are sometimes compromised by virtue of new threats or just by simple human error. And if data is lost, we need a way to get it back. So this needs to be part of your plan as well. So here are some guidelines in this module here that, although these typically people think of them as part of a network administrator's job, they're also part of the security designer's job. And of course, in a lot of companies, those two jobs are rolled into the same person or group. First of all, you need to understand the capabilities of the systems in your environment for recovery. And as you probably already know, all platforms are not created equal. Some of them have certain capabilities for recovery that others do not have. So they all present their unique set of challenges. For example, SERV 2003 offers a lot of customer-driven types of backup and recovery processes and procedures, including the volume shadow copy, the automated system recovery, emergency management services. So all these things are built into SERV 2003, but they may not be for every server in your environment, certainly if you're using older legacy type of systems, and certainly not available on client machines. You also want to divide your systems by the roles that they serve in the network. And what this means, we'll talk about this actually on the next slide as well, is that certain systems will need to be recovered in a more timely manner or a more urgent manner than other systems. A database server, for example, might contain huge volumes of information, and their backup and recovery procedures might be different than just a simple client machine or a file server or a DNS server in your network. Once you identify the different roles that the servers play, you also need to have written procedures for those computer roles. So again, go back to the example of the database server. The database server needs to have these things done in order to ensure a full recovery. How often, what type of backup, what the backup media is, and so on. Don't leave things to chance when you're talking about the lifeblood of your organization. So a database server, for example, might have a certain role or a certain written procedure for backup and recovery. Other types of servers, client machines, might have different types of procedures for backup and recovery. Once those things are written, you need to provide a test environment so that your IT personnel can practice those recovery steps. And it probably goes without saying that unless we practice what we write down, those procedures are next to useless. People actually need to know how to do it. They need to have practice so that they can encounter in the real world the types of things that they might stumble upon when performing a recovery. Other types of design guidelines for designing a recovery process would include determining when to use a volume shadow copy. And this is something that again is explored in some detail in previous tutorials for the MCSE, but it's a new service with SERV 2003 that lets you recover accidentally deleted files or restore files to a previous version of the file. So it's like a hot backup of certain files in your network. Design your backup strategy then can incorporate the volume shadow copy. It can also incorporate the media, the frequency, the security for the backup media, audits of the backup process. All the things are developed and defined as we define our backup strategy. Then, just like we perform an evaluation on the data in our network, we also evaluate the relative importance of systems. So again, we've ranked already, this is the data we cannot live without. What are the systems that we cannot live without? And then we design our backup strategy accordingly. And then as a final note here in this module, we want to audit our backup processes. So designing a good plan, a good strategy is a good starting point, but as we implement those plans, we want to be able to monitor and log those processes as they occur. So we want to define what's been recovered, when, who's doing it, so that we can track down any problems and try to prevent future problems. And really, that's what this tutorial is all about. It's about trying where possible to prevent problems from occurring on your network, problems that could cost people, the business, their money, their livelihood, and can cost human beings their livelihood as well.